Good morning, all. Welcome to another episode of Shared Light with Dustie and JR. I am obviously JR.
And I'm Dusty.
How was your week?
Pretty good.
Good. I was going about my week as I normally do and had a thought. Just about we're slowly approaching within just less than about a week our 20-year anniversary. And it got me thinking about, as it will sometimes when you hit milestones in life, you think about what you do to get to those points, right? So in doing that, I had an epiphany that while we have had some amazing moments, and we have had some amazing moments, I would imagine you would agree.
I agree.
A lot of our marriage has been what I feel most people would consider those mundane moments. I mean, that's a lot of what marriage is, right? The day-to-day just grind from one milestone to the next, waking up, going about your day, coming back, and then doing it all over again the next day.
Routines.
Right.
Yeah, I think people, well, a lot of people, and maybe even us included, go into it thinking it's these big anniversaries and date nights and these big grand things every single day, and it's just not.
Yeah, it as much as you want it to be, and there is a lot of those moments. I'm not gonna discount that in the slightest, but it really does boil down to. I mean, we've talked about it on this on this podcast before, right? That it makes up like who's taking the trash out, who's making the coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
who is putting the kids to bed, who's letting the dogs in, who's all the little things that you do throughout your day to just keep things functioning and moving forward surprisingly set a lot of the tone in your marriage.
Your daily routines. And I think that goes along with as you start to really get to know each other and you kind of fit all those things into how you're going to live together, how you're going to run your marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I enjoy cooking most of the time. I don't mind doing the coffee in the mornings. I don't mind getting the kids ready for school, or just a lot of those things that you just kind of set into place as your daily routines.
Well, and it's a lot of those little rituals throughout your day that actually end up creating more of that team dynamic between partners, especially us, right? So like I fully wake up every morning confident that I could get myself ready, get myself in the right state of mind, make sure that everything's taken care of that I need to take care of before work, because like you're handling the kids, you're making my coffee, you're making my breakfast, and not that it's an expectation, but that is just kind of our ritual now.
Right. And I mean, I stay home, and so for me, it's not a chore. I guess I don't look at it as a chore, but I have time throughout my day at home to get myself ready and do the things that I feel like I need to do for myself. So when I get up, that's just my daily routine, is like, I need to get you guys ready for your days first.
Well, but I would even venture to say that it starts before you even start doing all the things, right? Because full context, I'm usually the one that's up first thing, and I wake up and I'm generally in go mode. So I am either doing homework, checking emails for work, taking a pre-workout, getting ready to go work out. Used to just get up, take the pre-workout, and hit the gym, and then you started following me out to the gym to work out with me, and that routine changed a tad, right? But like, I wake up, I'm chatty, I'm good, I'm awake, and you are not. So you're processing all of the things that are coming through your day or coming up in the morning that you need to take care of. I am generally doing whatever I process right before bed. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, I know that I got to do this, and first thing, and just get up and go. So it's an interesting dynamic in the sense that even that routine originally started one way, but we've had to adjust back a little bit to make sure it works for both of us. Because as you've mentioned, for me, the working out and hitting the gym first thing, like, it really does set the tone for me in the day. And for you, we need that connection as part of your routine in the morning. Not to say that it's not mine as well, but that is what sets your tone more so than anything, is how we've connected and what we've conversed about.
Yeah. I need first of all, coffee.
Well, yeah.
But then doesn't matter. To me, the working out part for myself doesn't as matter as much as we have that time in the morning, those 2 hours or whatever, whether it's sitting there talking, whether it's me out there working out with you, or that's the connection I need to get me going in the morning to set my day.
And that is just to start the day. So then obviously we do the workout thing. I get ready, you make breakfast, you get the kids ready. But that's all also part of your routine where, I mean, you're essentially getting me ready so that I can take off to work, but then you're in mom mode and taking care of the kids, making sure they have what they need, setting up their lunches, making sure they're successful for their day. And it's a lot of those moments that I think for most couples and in most relationships go unnoticed because it really is those moments that a lot of people take for granted, right? Like even myself, there's times where I don't even think about it because I'm just like, well, yeah, my breakfast is going to be made. I'm like, I don't even worry about any of that
I
stuff.
think when you're just, it becomes such a daily habit and you're in go mode, you already know what's happening. So I think in those moments, it's the hardest to be intentional with each other because it's just kind of a daily flow that just happens every single day. And so you don't stop to really, even for me, sometimes it's just like if there's something off, or like we're usually sitting on the couch after the workout and after I've gotten your lunch and breakfast and all that, and we're sitting on the couch before you leave for work, like, it throws me off a little bit even sometimes, like if you're not intentional or we're both just on our phones scrolling, and then it's like, oh wait, no, we need to be with each other, like this is our time to connect, or
Right,
you know what I mean,
right.
because you just get so in go mode that you just stop remembering what those moments are intended for.
Yeah. And it is important to make sure that even as you have those habits and as you have, like you said, those moments where it's really easy to get lost in just the habitual side of it, because it is just such a norm through your day, finding ways to be intentional. I mean, the one thing that I can lean to that is a habit, but it is a very intentional habit, is the way I say good morning, or the way I say goodbye in the morning, and the way I say good morning to the kids, right? Because it's a very intentional act of, I have to make sure that I touch every one of you, make sure that you guys know that I love you all and that I want you guys to have a good day. And then we've talked in the past where even after I leave, the first thing I do when I get to work generally is shoot off a text. But even in those moments when we're just, like you said, where we're just sitting there, it can get, and you can have periods of time when it's not so intentional and you doom scroll, or the thing I'm guilty of the most is as soon as I start getting, emails from work, like I'm in work mode.
Right. Even though you're at home and you should be.
Right.
We should be checking in with each other,
Right.
or
Right.
having those moments before work.
But so just finding ways to ensure that even through your habits, and we talked about it, that you are finding ways to be intentional. The other side of that, and you touched on it a little bit, is that a lot of that normalcy and a lot of those habits create a lot of predictability throughout your day. So when anything feels off, it throws that whole emotional stability off kilter a little bit.
Right.
So again, it's the habits that you go through are surprisingly important in marriage because it does help create that stability, that emotional stability of, especially, when you've been with somebody for 20 years, you're going to know how they operate and what they do and what their daily routine is, and how they brush their teeth in the morning and all the things. And I know that it's really easy to say, well, why are you paying attention to those things? And it's just a human nature type of thing, right? Where you just generally know, well, wait a minute, she's not making breakfast. Is she mad? Is she not feeling good? Is she
right? Something's off. And I think that it's so, like you said, it's so those things are important, even if they are routine, because I feel like if it was different each and every day, there's no security in that. If everything is so off every single day and everything's so different every single day, how do you create any kind of stability or
and connection,
safety, or,
If I come at it every day different, right? And I am saying goodbye differently every morning, or every time I greet you, it's something totally different. You're never going to get used to what to expect. And, the human mind is designed to pick up on patterns and routine. And when you're throwing that off consistently, it doesn't know how to react to that. So,
Yeah, and I feel like for me, someone who does deal with anxiety and does pick up on every little, I mean, I can tell just by the way that you text or, the way that you look or the way that you say something, that something is off. Not necessarily with us, but just in general. So I can't imagine having to decipher that every single day in you. You know what I mean? Like that for me would not be my anxiety would be sky high every single day if I had to do that.
well, and again, it's that emotional safety that is created through habit. You get, and I'm not even saying with just a partner, but if you're around, I mean, think of longtime friends, your parents.
Well, I think even at work as a leader.
Yeah, so you generally get an understanding of how people operate, what their tones are like when they're tired, what their default reaction is going to be when they're upset, when something is off, when they're acting a little bit out of the norm, when something in the normal daily routine,
Yeah.
you pick up on it. I mean,
Right.
that's everybody. And the other side of that is that through picking all that stuff up and understanding that stuff, you start building trust with those people. As you begin to learn what to expect, you're already reacting in that manner, and they are able to even further lean into those ideas, right? Like if I have a guy, which I have worked with a few of these, right, that I know are very explosive when they're giving bad news
Yeah.
and I know that, and I approach the conversation in a different manner so that I know that I can mitigate some of that. That's going to build a better connection between us because
Right.
they're going to know that I'm not just coming in here giving them bad news and running away. We're actively working through it.
Yeah.
And it's the same like for us, right? So if you've got something going on, if you're sitting on the couch rubbing your hands a certain way, I know that you're anxious, right? Or if you're not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, I know something's going on because that I know that one of the most important things to you is being able to, even though you hate getting up and you're not wanting to be out of bed, like the most important thing to you is to make sure that you're up and spending that time with me in the morning. So it's another level of relationship and trust building that often I think goes unnoticed in a marriage and in any relationship really. Because again, you think of anything in life, all of these milestones and things and there's always special people involved, and you have these snapshots of these great things that have happened. And you don't have a lot of the snapshots that you do from the daily routine things, but those are the things that build up to those moments.
Yeah, and it's kind of not even in marriage, but if I think back to a lot of times in my life that all the things I've been through and a lot of my trauma, a lot of those moments, I knew what would help me and where I could go would be my parents' house because it was reliable, it was comfortable, it was safe. But that's because of
You knew what to expect.
I knew what to expect. It was always going to be the same, and it has been since I was young. And it's always been a space that I would say even now when we go over, you come to expect what it's going to be at my parents' house. It's comfortable.
Yeah,
It's safe. It's you know that you're going to get fed. You know that you'll have good conversation. So I think it's in a marriage that's what you're building. You're building that safety. You're building that comfortableness. And I think a lot of people may look at it as like mundane and maybe even boring, but you're building that foundation.
Well, and that's what a lot of marriage is. Honestly. I mean,
It's boring. I mean,
and I don't want to call it boring, but it is it can
it's
be
mundane. We call it mundane.
and it really is. I mean, that's just life in general. Life is, regardless of what you see on Instagram and TikTok and all these social media feeds, like, yes, I'm sure some people have some exciting lives, but they also have those mundane moments where they are just sitting around the house, not doing anything,
Yeah.
living in their normal routine, because that's just the way the world is.
And that's okay. Like, I feel like that's the part of our relationship that makes me the most comfortable and makes me feel the most safe.
Well, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. We had a chance to go out. Your mom took the kids. They were going out on a date. They were going out to the movies. They were going to have, a grandma
date.
and like I asked you, well, you want to go on a date or would you rather just hang out at the house and order some food? Which is, I'm sure, boring to a lot of people, but we've come to enjoy those moments. I feel like.
It's
Yeah.
our favorite moments.
Yeah, I mean it's the quiet, intentional moments together that I think build for stronger connection myself. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to, I think we talked about a couple episodes back where it's being intentional in those daily routines. Being intentional when you do acknowledge us when you get home. It's like you greet us and vice versa, or when you leave for work or whatever. Those moments they're very intentional, even if they're routine. Because, and you look at it on the other side of it, if you don't say goodbye to our youngest or say goodnight, what happens?
Yeah, 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Like I hear about it for days.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the other night you didn't even say goodnight to me, or
Yeah.
the other morning you didn't wake me up to say goodbye.
So you may feel like, oh, it's just such a routine thing. It doesn't mean anything, but it actually does, because it is such a part of your routine that it is. But it's also meaningful because it's intentional.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there is a dark side to routine as well, though.
There is. And there can be. Yeah.
You know, we talk about it pretty often. Like we get stuck in the doom scroll from time to time. Now, while in some instances we doom scroll together, there are times when I can get stuck or you can get stuck scrolling, and now we're not listening to each other.
Right.
Or we're not acknowledging each other when we walk into a room, or, you know, whatever it may be. And those things, even as they can become routine, do still leave an underlying mark on the relationship. It lends to moments of resentment.
Yeah. Over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you go out and do something, and I'm really good if I've got to go do something, and anymore, like Dustie just comes with me. She doesn't like to not go with me anywhere. But there was a time when we very much didn't really want to do a lot of the same things together, just because, as we've spoken about, like our tastes are very opposite.
Yeah.
You know, I'd want to go fishing. She'd want to go out with her family, or, you know, things along that nature. Where anymore we've got a lot of the same wants and likes, and have found a lot of activities that we enjoy together. You know, even in those moments, I was always really good about checking in.
Yeah. I feel like we've pretty much always been pretty good about checking in.
But I don't feel like it's that way for everyone.
No.
And it's definitely not that way for our kids. Our kids forget to check in all the time, which is a whole nother story. I mean, I think that's just kids. But you know, little things like that can disconnect.
Yeah. Not just resentment, but disconnect. Over time, I think, like we talked about before, it starts to build that wall.
Well, and that even more of that autopilot syndrome.
Yeah.
Where you start just becoming roommates.
Yeah. It's all the small things that start adding up over time.
Oh.
And then that becomes your new routine. If you stop being intentional and you stop doing those daily things or once in a while things, that becomes your new routine, and that is what becomes comfortable. But unfortunately, that is not with your partner. You know, you're starting to build your own routine by yourself, and you have that wall now between the two of you, or you are on autopilot.
Which we've been fortunate enough, and again, I learned things the hard way. We've talked about that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've also been dumb enough in some instances that we have learned a lot of these lessons along the way. Mm-hmm. You know, things that help us, as we've talked about, our daily text message keeps things very intentional. Not sending the same text message, but we do make it a point to send a very unique message every morning about whatever's going on. I mean, we had a situation this week at our home where, you know, it was a little bit of chaos for the kids. The kids had to stay home a couple days. But even that was included in our text messages this week, was, you know, even through this, like, this is what we're doing, right?
Right.
So having those moments that are purpose built and purpose driven to keep the habits in a forum that promote longer or more connection, right? Better connection, stronger relationship. Again, I try to be very intentional about how I leave in the morning. At night, we're very intentional with the way we do bedtime with the girls.
Yeah, that's always pretty much been a routine, I think, for us, and something that the kids have just, it's not something that they think about won't happen, that we won't come in and, you know, I put their hair in their bonnet, get them ready for bed, we say goodnight.
I mean, it used to be a pretty in-depth routine.
Yeah,
it used to be like,
developed over as they've gotten older, but it used to be bath time, pajamas, reading a book,
Dream cream.
dream cream, and putting your hair up. And it's like, now it's not so involved, but it's still something that they rely on.
Yeah, because they will not go to
Yeah.
sleep without it. I mean,
And now it's evolved into an also text.
yes.
Yeah. So we have to text them individually, each of us, and then we all have a group text where we all just say goodnight.
But there's something to be said about that routine, because if one of us does not respond to the group text or accidentally skips texting one of them, like, it turns into a big deal.
Yeah, it throws them off, and our youngest is very serious about it, and so she cannot sleep unless I have, done all the things, kissed them goodnight, said I love you, sent the text messages.
Well, and with her, it's like even what you say in the messages has to be.
Yes, it has to be correct. I can't change it because, that's what she's come to. That's what has made her comfortable and makes her feel comfortable so that she can go to bed. But that's like with anything. The messages that you and I send each other in the morning is what makes me comfortable and makes me able to go about my day. And I still have moments where anxiety wants to creep. But as we've started to communicate more, and we do have those messages, and we do, even with starting the podcast, I feel like has helped me. And it's something that allows me to feel more comfortable and secure.
Well, and I think for me, it's a lot of that. Again, I've told you forever. For me, it's not even the grand gestures. It's the fact that you get up and you're willing to make me coffee, and you're willing to make my breakfast, and you're packing my lunch. And
yeah,
while it may not seem like a lot, like, I know that's a lot, because when I have to do it myself, like, it's chaos for me.
I'm eating out today.
It's one of those things. And even the way we go to bed, right? Like, I cannot go to bed now without your head on my chest. It's, even though once I'm asleep, I don't want anything touching me, it's still part of my, like, safety that I have to have that so that I can go to bed.
To feel safe,
right,
and go to sleep, just like with the kids.
But again, it's about building in those habits throughout, because again, it's you will have snapshots of moments that are amazing, that are grand, that are,
you'll have anniversaries, you'll have fun date nights, you'll have trips that you go on, but that's not your everyday.
No.
And it's definitely not ours. It's very rare that we leave our kids. I think we go on a once a year, and it's not even multiple days. It's like an overnight trip to Jackpot or something. And
even on those days, like, by the time we get home, like, we're both missing the kids, and we're both already missing our routine.
Yeah, we're ready to be back into our routine. And, so it's not always going to be that, especially in a marriage, as you have kids and situations change, financial situations change. And we've experienced a lot of those, and we've been able to stay solid because we do have those daily routines and those intentions. And so a lot of those, even though some have thrown us off, and we've had to come back from, it's not been a lot.
Well, and I feel like most of them we've just kind of found by accident.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not anything like we sat down one day and we're like, oh, well, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, it's not like we planned everything out. It's just as you grow together and as you learn each other more, and especially as each other experiences different things, my anxiety, you start to learn it's part of what each other needs. I think the whole text thing started originally just because it was maybe something I needed when I was in my really dark place in my anxiety and stuff. And I needed that security from you, like a reassurance kind of thing. And then it just turned into like, I mean, I need it now, but it wasn't to like, I really need your constant reassurance to like pull me out of this today.
Right. Well, and even because for the longest time, even in going to sleep, it was you slept facing away from me, I slept on my side, and over time it's just developed. Like, I think one night we just fell asleep that way, and I slept so good that I was like, well,
yeah, me too. Like, why haven't we been doing this? Like, why do we sleep so separately? And
then it just turned into a thing. So now it's like neither one of us can go to bed without that, right? But
And we used to honestly go to bed at different times
yeah,
for a long time. You know, some of that was your schedule, but also,
well, my schedule and kids, and like we've talked about, Dusty very much is a 2-year-old at bedtime.
yeah,
Does not want to go to
I
bed.
don't very much I'm an adult now. I don't have to go to bed at a certain time.
And I am very much like, when I am done, I'm done. Like, I need to go to bed. It's not a negotiation for me. It's just, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
But that was a little off topic. But
It's just like silly routines that over time have become.
well, and the I guess the most important part of this conversation is that, again, we've leaned into explaining that, yes, there will be amazing snapshots throughout your life. There's going to be, like you said, anniversaries, graduations, awesome trips, awesome experiences that you're going to have. But in marriage, especially in those first few years, right, you start out very motivated. They call it the honeymoon phase, trying to figure everything out. Everything's really exciting. But 2, 3, 4 years in, that starts to go away a little bit. And that's when reality sets in, that it's not about all of these moments. It's not about all of these grand things. And that initial shot of endorphins or whatever subsides a little bit. And it really is the habits that you've built that sustain you as long as, we've been together.
Yeah, that honeymoon phase is not sustainable.
No, we have come to a few of those points where we've had honeymoon phases, particularly after we really started connecting and we hit another one of those moments where it was like a fresh new marriage and everything was super exciting. And I think the major difference being there was that we were able to build on some of those new habits that have kept us really connected. Like more, I feel like more connected than even we were prior to everything else that happened. Because for me, and I'll be the first to admit this, is like my habits very much make it so that I don't have to make decisions day in and day out. So it's, I'm a creature of habit. Everything is very systematic. Like, I'm doing this, and this. If I don't get to one of those, like, it throws me completely off. So effectively building these habits in to reinforce connection also helps so that you're not having to constantly try and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even just in the little things. I'm going to make dinner, and I know that you're going to take out the trash, or it's like those small things that it's like, you don't have to decide what you're eating that day. I mean, we may make a decision together or whatever,
right.
Or I don't have to decide this is the day I need to take the trash out or whatever. It's even in those small things that can just help so that one person is not constantly making all the decisions or feeling like they have to.
Right. Well, and it helps ensure that the connection that you guys have, and like for us, right, that the connection is automatic so that when we do run into those situations where things get a little bumpy, it doesn't feel so daunting because everything else has been fairly stable and automatic for us. It's essentially like, again, I lean into work a lot because that's just what I do, right? It's the difference between having a formalized process that is followed every single step of the way every day and what they call tribal knowledge, where certain individuals know what's supposed to happen, so they just kind of make it happen. Marriages, in my opinion, need to function like with those set systems, which is all a habit is, right? It's a creation of something that you do daily or yearly, whatever it may be, that keeps that system moving towards
flowing.
the desire. Yeah, which, I mean, we've talked about it, maybe we haven't, but our desired outcome is a cabin in the mountains, with acreage and animals. Ensuring that we get there also requires us to remain connected and have the type of relationship that can withstand everything that it's going to take to get from here to there, which that's all we're saying. I mean, really the mundane that we talk about is starting small with things that are intentional and building them into your routine, making sure that whatever you're choosing to do is natural to you and your partner.
Yeah, and intentional.
Well, and you don't want to force it.
No.
Like, I'm not going to create a habit. I mean, I talk about it a lot, right, where I don't like expressing my innermost dark feelings.
Right.
Like, that's not going to be the habit where every day I'm telling you, right.
Yeah.
Because it's not natural, right? It's not, for me, it's not something that I'm comfortable doing.
Yeah, and you feel forced to do it.
Right. So finding those simple little things that you can do, like our text, right? It's literally 30 seconds every morning.
And it's just natural because we're telling each other how we feel basically.
Yeah.
About each other. And for me, that's easy. Well, yeah, you're this, and this. And this is like you make me feel this, and this. It's simple.
Or I'm so grateful that you did this, and this.
Right.
And you continue to do this, and this. It's not anything that's super extraordinary. Like I'm not confessing my innermost whatever. It really is just, a lot of the times for me, it's gratitude, expressing gratitude, right? I'm very grateful for the relationship that we have.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of it is I feel like you need reminded sometimes. I mean, maybe not daily, but you are this to me, or you are enough, or you do make me feel this way. You make me feel safe. You make me feel secure. Because I think for me too, sometimes it gets lost on us because we never think, like both of us have that problem where we think we're not enough at moments.
Yeah, I mean, it is a big driver for a lot of what I do, right? Is constantly trying to do more for whatever. Anymore, it's just because I want to do more. But for the longest time, it was not from a very positive perspective. And then in building habits, like making them fun.
Yeah, they don't have to be boring. Like, I think a lot of people think systems and habits, and it's just like bam, 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 the same thing every single day. It has to be boring, boring, boring. But I don't feel like ours are boring. I mean, they're not ever exactly the same. I'm not telling you the same exact thing every single day. That's repetitive.
Right.
It's not habitual.
Yeah. I mean, you really, it's not about rinse and repeat. It really is about a habit that is ingrained.
Yeah.
It's like with everything else, right? The habit is you get up, you eat breakfast. That doesn't mean that you're eating the same exact meal every single day.
You're getting up and working out. You're not doing the same exact workout every single day.
Right. So it is about ensuring that you're having fun with whatever habit you're building. And that's just for life in general. That's not even just for relationships, right? Anything that you're building towards or anything that you're trying to implement will not have a lasting effect if it's not fun for you.
Yeah, if it's not enjoyable.
And then being okay to celebrate the fact that you guys are so consistent. Again, a lot of the time for me, those simple text messages we send back is me being grateful that we have what we have, and we have what we have because we have consistently worked at it and figured it out and tried to figure out how we're, improving daily. And it wasn't always that way, but again, we adapt, we learn. I learn things the hard way. I'm kind of a knucklehead, but it does help to be able to reflect on the positives that you have implemented with each other.
Yeah. And I think for me and for us both, I think our daily morning text is also not just a habit, but it's also something that opens communication. For me, it's something that opens a conversation it's a way for us to open a line of communication should we need it that day. Because for us, especially, and I think people are different, like we do communicate and talk a lot, but we also do very well expressing ourselves maybe better at times through writing. And I know for me it is for a lot of things, but so for me sometimes I may be struggling with something that morning, but I don't want to take up our entire time in the morning talking about it or trying to figure it out. So that morning text from you is that opening for me to be like, I'm struggling with this, or I need to get this out, or we need to talk about this, or So it's it's a habit, yes, and it's consistent, but it's also it can open more communication.
Yeah, it's a practical example for like a tool that can be used for other purposes. I mean, just like when I give the girls a kiss in the morning and say goodbye, it's not only is it my chance to say goodbye, but it's also my chance to ensure that if something is going on, or to check on them and make sure that they're okay and that they're not sick or not feeling any kind of way, or making sure that whatever it may be, it's something that I can do on my part to make sure that they are still actively being seen in case they do need something. Because every now and then they'll get up and say, "Oh, well, I'm feeling this," or I can't do this," or it's
yeah. It opens that communication for them, I think, too.
And the whole purpose of this conversation is just to really highlight the importance of what some people call boring and mundane really can be the reality in most cases for life, just in general. Life is not all of these amazing things that happen. Yeah, I mean, you don't go from one point to another point to another point. And if you do, unfortunately, live your life that way, like you're missing out on a lot.
In between
Yeah, I mean,
the small moments.
well, I mean, and the big moments are amazing. I'm not going to discount it at all.
No,
But
they
it's
are.
all the little ones that help build to all that, all
Yeah.
of that, right? And that really, I would argue, shape how much you appreciate those that much more.
Yeah.
But I would say that for us, especially, our habits are a reflection of how we say, "This is how I choose you"
Yeah.
throughout my day, without
words.
without having to say it.
Right.
So, if you're striving for a stronger relationship, if you're striving for a stronger marriage, I would recommend starting with the small things.
Yeah.
All those simple moments between all of the snapshots of amazement that come through.
Yeah. Because I think some people struggle sometimes with sitting down and having those conversations like we've talked about before that are important. But if people are in that place and can't get to that place right away, start with the small things. Start with the text messages or
Yeah.
the daily morning hug before you leave and 30 seconds to hug and kiss and say I love you.
Yep.
Build that habit into your marriage, and I bet you will come to find that after a while that will open more communication for you.
And with that, we wish you a blessed week and keep doing your best to share your light with others. Have a good one.